Okay, Mike Masato back with you here, the CEO of Staff Driven Dental and the Dental Road Warrior for episode 5 on I want to call Harsh Reality Friday. I want to talk about patient retention and the only three reasons why a patient ever leaves your practice. All right, and I've done this for a long time. I've analyzed this up and down. And the harsh reality of it is, if you really look at it, there's only 3 reasons why a patient will ever leave your practice. And it only boils down to these 3 things, and only one of which you can prevent. Okay, so here it is. Ready? First of all, they move. Okay, can't prevent moving. If they move out of the area, they're far away. Nothing you can do about that. They're gonna, you can encourage them to stay, come make the trip to see you, and some do. So I know some doctors that have people fly from out of state to come see them, or even out of the country to come spend time with them. That's great. But for the most part, if they move, can't control that, and they'll move on. Number 2 is they die, right? And hopefully you didn't kill them yourself. But if a patient dies, then that happens. It's part of life. People pass on from time to time, and nothing you can do about that, and that's that. The third one is you blew it, all right? And that's the one you can control. So either they move, they die, or you blew it. And you might be saying, that's, what do you mean? I don't get that. Look, take any instance why a patient's right there, not in your practice any longer, and I can tell you it has something to do with the ultimate responsibility would be to say, if they're not here, we blew it somehow. Okay? The obvious ones, if a patient's upset with something, you can blame the patient. But obviously, you go back to the beginning and find out, okay, where do we go wrong here? If there's some kind of upset that make them want to leave. Their insurance changed, Mike. Come on, they're going to leave because sometimes their insurance changes. Nothing you can do about that. What I would say is, proactively, we should have a discussion about that. We knew that change was coming, to do what we can to make sure they don't go anywhere. That's a key thing, to come up with an in-house insurance plan or alternative, and it's amazing how many times doctors tell me, well, I lost a patient over $100, or $200. You're really going to lose a patient over $100, $200? You're not, that's been there for a long time. Think about the long-term retention value of these patients. All right, so there's no reason why they should leave over insurance or money. We can always work that out. In the practice, most of this stuff comes down to having poor policy in place, and that will prevent a lot of upsets, a lot of problems. They're not happy with the bill. They were surprised with with this, that we hit them with a fee. These are all things that could be controlled. We don't have a new patient experience, so a new patient comes in. That's what's the most tragic thing. A new patient comes in into your practice. It's so hard to get new patients into the practice. You finally get someone there, and they go through the first day in your practice, and they don't come back. We find this out months later. Where'd they go? Where are they? That's an indictment on the practice. If we can't retain a new patient, we should be on our best and have a great first impression with a patient the first day they're there. So to lose a patient after they come in one time, well, Mike, they weren't qualified. Well, you should have qualified them. We should have made sure that they were a right fit before they were in the practice and before you wasted time with them and they didn't come back. So if you really want to look at it, the we blew it thing, and the other thing is, it's funny, we get these patient intake forms and you look at it and you see, the list of doctors that they were at before you. And you say, well, I'm going to be different. No, you're not going to be different. You're the next person on the hit parade, unless you find out what caused them to leave those other practices. What happened there? Learning about their past dental experiences and what occurred in these other offices that they felt they had to leave that doctor. So rather than writing them off to them being a bad doctor, or your office is better, or whatever, with a patient, whatever reason the patient had, really dig into find out the real true reason why, and don't duplicate those mistakes. That's so important. That's why your new patient intake system, it starts on the first phone call, is so vital to know what kind of patient we have coming in, the qualification of these patients, setting expectations. But when they come into the practice, you want to make sure that you dig into this kind of thing for retention's sake. All right. So there's many ways. Again, we can't prevent the first 2, but there's many ways to fall into the category of we blew it in the practice, and that's really, again, the harsh reality of it. If you really want to be tough on yourself, and be critical and look in the mirror. Don't blame it on your staff. You can blame it on your staff. Okay. Well, who hired these people? Who trained these people? If you can't blame it on botched staff. All this boils down to, in every instance, all right, is basically not having an office that's set up to create an amazing experience, retain people, that runs on systems, runs on policies, to make sure that we create the most amazing service experience for patients. That's the number one thing that separates you out from other people. Because unfortunately today, in the mind of the consumer, dentistry's become a commodity. That's why you get these phone calls, ring, ring, ring. Hi, Dr. Smith's office. Yes, do you take Aetna? It's not even hello anymore. Or I'm looking for a great dentist. It's immediately into the insurance question. They're shopping. All right, so we have to understand, in a world where, in an industry where dentistry's become a commodity, in the mind of the consumer that all dentists are the same, or a patient has been with you several years goes, well, I can go down the same street and I can get it for $100 cheaper. Their relationship is based on money with you, not really understanding the quality and the service and the great dentistry they get. They don't get any of that there because, again, we haven't created an environment that is conducive to retaining patients. So don't blow it. Right? It's hard enough getting patients there. And our bread and butter is obviously our core patient base that we've had for years. That's our repeat business. And these patients generate you money. We lose track of how much the average patient generates us over the course of a year. You got to be conservatively, each of these patients that stays with you year in and year out, you're making at least $1,000 a year on average over the course of the years. Some years more, some years less, but at the end of the time, they've been there 10 years. You're talking about a person who's paid at least $10,000 to come see you, and that's not even counting residual referrals you'll get from the patient in the practice. So again, the moral of today's Friday, Harsh Reality Friday, is don't blow it. All right, though that's one thing you can control. You can't control moving, you can't control the patient's dying, but you can control blowing it. All right, so I hope these little words of wisdom struck home. If you want to debate me on that, feel free to leave comments on this video. But I can tell you that's the harsh reality of it all. Hope you like this one, and I'll be back before you know it with another edition. Thanks so much.